Would you like to win and achieve success at what you do? Welcome to the Winner's Ways podcast, where we create winners every day. And now, your host, the author of Winner's Ways book and life coach, Bola Alabi.
Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Winner's Ways podcast. I'm your host, Bola Alabi. This is episode 38 of this podcast, and on today's show, we'll be talking about how to become a 401k millionaire. So this episode falls under the personal finance column of this podcast. Becoming a 401k millionaire, I know some people may find this topic rather strange. Some people are of the opinion that money is evil. Some people detest millionaires and rich people. Well, today's episode, I'm not expressing my opinion whether money is good or not. Rather, the goal of today's episode is to help you if you are out there and someday you want to retire with a net worth of $1 million. So if you are a worker in America, if you are an employee, or if you are an entrepreneur, you've been working hard. Today's show is for you. The goal of today's show is to motivate you and, of course, to guide you, to let you see the path to that $1 million mark. Well, there are still some people that, even though they have $1 million net worth, they still don't feel rich. But again, the $1 million mark is psychological. It's a big figure. And if that's your goal to one day become a millionaire, then today's show is for you. In episode 15 of this podcast, we spoke about how to find purpose at work. So if you are yet to listen to that episode, I will encourage you to go back and check out that episode, because I truly believe that everyone should work with passion. Everyone should love what they do. And to love what you do, you got to find purpose at what you do. I know there are several questions that may be going on in your mind right now. The first one may be, why is it important to be rich? Again, my goal today is not to discuss whether it's good or bad to be wealthy. In my opinion, money is a tool that can be used for good or bad, depending on who is handling the money. There are a lot of good causes that people are using their money for. There are many rich people that donate their money to charitable organizations every year. So it depends on how you see money. But one thing that is for sure is that if you have enough money, then you will have options in life, options to do what you want to do, options to work where you want to work, options in terms of where you want to live, in terms of the home you want to live in, options in terms of the car you want to drive. So with more money in your pocket, you will have more options to do what you want to do in life. Another question may be, why is it important to be a 401k millionaire? Again, the goal is to help an average worker or maybe a middle class employee out there that indeed, if they follow the simple principle of saving and investing, after some time, they will be able to get to that status of becoming a 401k millionaire. The truth is this: if you live in the United States, the economy is growing, the economy is robust, the system is well established and structured, the market is well developed. And because of that, if you invest in the market here in the US, you have a greater chance of seeing good returns over time. So that's one good thing that is going on for people that reside in the United States. When we talk about 401k, and I'll say this, I know for sure that my audience here in the United States will find this episode more applicable and more beneficial. But at the same time, I still believe that it can be useful to other people from some other countries in the world. So, just as a way of introducing it, the 401k is an employer-sponsored retirement plan that eligible employees may make tax-deferred contribution from their salary to on a pre-tax basis. This means that you ain't going to pay any tax on the money that you invest in your 401k until you are ready to withdraw that money. And here's the good news. Most of the time, employers often make matching contributions on behalf of the employees to help them fund their retirement. For example, some employer may match dollar for dollar up to a certain percentage of the employees' annual salaries just to help them to contribute towards retirement. So the matching money, in my opinion, is free money from your employer, and you can use it to grow your investment portfolio. All this money are tax deferred. 401k plan offers you tax incentives. For example, let's say your annual salary is $50,000. Ideally, you are supposed to pay taxes on this income. So if you contribute $5,000 out of this $50,000 income into your 401k plan, you are automatically lowering your tax bracket, because now you are not paying taxes on $50,000, but rather on $45,000. That's the income that is left after you've contributed to your 401k plan. The 401k plan became a law in 1978 and is named after the subsection of the Internal Revenue Code that established it. So as of September 30th, 2017, 401k plans accounted for roughly 5.3 trillion of the 27.2 trillion in total retirement plan assets in the United States. The IRS typically imposes contribution limit per year on 401k contribution. For this year, 2019, the maximum that you can contribute to your 401k plan is $19,000 if you are under the age of 50. But once you are over 50, you can contribute as much as $25,000. Not every employer offers the 401k plan. Some companies have other options like 401a, 403b, and if your employer is not offering any match, you can also set up what they call individual retirement arrangements. That's IRA. Small businesses can also go on IRS website, Internal Revenue Service in the United States, to find out more information about their retirement option. The topic for today is how to become a 401k millionaire. One thing that I love doing very well on this show is to give you actionable tips that can help you to achieve your goal. So for today, I'll be sharing 5 tips that you need to follow in order to become a 401k millionaire. Achieving these status depends on 4 main factors. The first one is the age you are starting. The second one is the amount you are contributing. The third one is the frequency of your contribution. And the fourth one is the returns you get on your investments. The good news today is that you can control all these 4 factors. But before we get into how to become a 401k millionaire, let me quickly share some statistics with you so that you'll be motivated that I can achieve it too. The average 401k balance among participants in the United States is over $100,000. 71% of the portfolio has exposure to equities, that is, they are invested in the stock market. The total amount held in all 401k accounts is $5.3 trillion. The average savings rate is 8.6%. According to Fidelity, there are over 157,000 401k millionaires in America, and there are other 148,000 people who have saved $1 million or more in their IRA account. So I want you to join these people. And the average age to attain that status is 56 years old. So this means there are no sudden millionaires here. It takes time, it takes careful planning, and it takes coming up with strategies. So before we start this process, before I go into the how, I want to quickly give you a disclaimer here. I'm sharing this information with you based on what I've seen, based on what I've learned. I'm also in the process. I've not achieved the millionaire status yet, but I have confidence that I'm going to get there. So let's go into the how. The first thing in how to become a 401k millionaire is you must start early. If you are listening to me today and you are just getting out of college, you are in a better position to retire with over $1 million in your portfolio. And I know there are many students that are coming out with huge student loan burden, and they are definitely going to disagree with me. But before we go into the argument or disagreement, I'll encourage you to also go back to my past podcast episode where I talked about how to plan and pay for college. There are many ways you can go to college and come out with maybe less debt or no debt. So my goal is for students to go into college without the debt. So if you start investing at age 25 and you are contributing $300 every month, if you get an average of 9% returns every year, by age 65, you will have $1.1 million in your accounts. If on the other hand, you wait till you are 35 and you are contributing the same amounts with the same returns, you will have less than $450,000 by the time you turn 65. So to get to the $1 million mark, you got to start early. Otherwise, you need to increase the amount you contribute. For example, if you want to get to $1 million at age 35, you'll need to increase your monthly contribution to $600 instead of the $300 that you would need if you were starting at age 25. So that's one, start out early. Number 2, max out your 401k contribution every year. When and if possible at all, ensure that you are contributing the maximum to your 401k plan. That means you should pay the maximum allowable based on IRS rule. For example, in the current year, like I stated earlier, the maximum allowable for this year is $19,000 if you are under the age of 50. And why is it good to contribute the maximum? Again, let's take two people for example. If one person is able to contribute $10,000 per year, in 20 years, if the money grows at an average rate of 8% per annum, this person will have $500,000 after 20 years in his or her retirement portfolio. If there is another person on the other hand that is contributing $19,000 and this person is also dedicated and did it for 20 years, he's going to have over $900,000 at the end of 20 years. So if for some reason you are not able to start early, contributing the maximum allowable by law is your next best option in order to catch up and reach the $1 million mark. So that's number 2, max out your 401k contribution. Number 3, pick up good investments. One rule that I've learned is that buying individual stocks, that's shares from an individual company, can give you great returns, but it's also very risky. For example, imagine people that have invested in companies like Blockbuster, Radio Shack, or Toys R Us. They would have lost all their money by now because these companies have gone bankrupt. Yes, if you want to invest in individual stocks, you need to also invest in information. You need to know what's going on, and you need to know the risk that you are putting yourself into. But the recommendation that I'm going to give here today is to try and invest more in mutual funds or ETFs, exchange traded funds. These are baskets of funds that invest in groups of companies, not just one company. Maybe you have 100, 200, or 300 different companies in this investment group. So if one company even go bankrupt, you will not lose all your money. So number 3, pick up good investments because, again, example, it is possible for, in terms of retirement investment, it is possible for one person to realize a return, an average return of 10%, while another person is getting a mediocre return of less than 3%. When it comes to retirement portfolio, if you can get a return of 10% or more, that's considered great. If you get the average return is about 7 to 8% per annum. If you are getting a return of 5% or less, that is not good. You need to re-strategize. You need to reassess your portfolio and move things around so that you can get above average returns. Number 4, be consistent and stay persistent. Attaining a 401k millionaire status is a slow process. Don't expect this to happen overnight. To see results, you must do it consistently during your career. When you change jobs, make sure you quickly enroll in your new employer's retirement plan. And if possible at all, try and raise your contribution by 1% every year until you are contributing 15% of your income into your retirement account. Part of being persistent and consistent also means you should not take a break from investing. That means don't just take a pause that, hey, I'm out this year, I'm coming back in 2 years' time. Nah, don't do that. And please try and avoid withdrawing money from your retirement account. Number 5, the last but not the least, give it time. Patience is your best friend here when it comes to saving for retirement. This is not about any get-rich-quick scheme. It's something that you must be ready to do over your entire career, and you need to stay invested for a long time before you can see results. Most 401k millionaires have been contributing to their plan for over 30 years before they can get to the $1 million mark. Be patient. Understand that it will take time to build lasting wealth. And there are several strategies that you can use. Make sure you automate the process. That is, make sure your employer, they are deducting the money and putting the money in your retirement account before your salary goes into your account. Be a learner. Try and get information that will help you to maximize your income. Be a learner also means you should aim for career growth. And if you do these things, you will be able to attain the 401k millionaire status. Before I close, if you live in the United States, if you work and earn money, you may be a low income earner today, but if you continue to improve your skills, if you don't settle for less, you can increase your earning power and you can become a 401k millionaire if you follow the recommendations that I shared today. With some proper planning and discipline, you can do it. If you are behind right now, you should play catch up and find ways of saving money. I've shared several articles on my website on how to save money. Finally, earning money is the most important part of the equation. You must find a way to earn some income, either as an entrepreneur or as an employee, for you to be able to make money and invest your money. And that's where I'm going to be stopping today. I hope I've been able to serve you. I hope you find this information useful and beneficial. Till next time again, I am Bola Halabi. Now, go win.
This episode of Winner's Ways podcast has come to a close. We hope you enjoy and learn something from today's show. We want you to win and excel in all areas of your life, and we regularly explore and share information with our listeners to empower them to win. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more tips and strategies to help you find the success that you've always dreamt of. And don't forget to rate and review so that we can continue to bring you more podcast episodes to empower you. We will love to have you again next week. Now, keep winning.